What up, everybody? Welcome back to the show. It is your boys, Alec and DJ. We haven't started like this in a very long time, which is fine, but we're having fun. And this episode, we're in the thick of Men's Mental Health Month. We've been having some really cool people on. We had a new therapy on last week with Tanner Manwaring. And we actually have Joe from I Love You Bro Project coming on here in 2 weeks. So you guys will hear from him. But the next 2 episodes are just me and DJ. And we want to make an episode for resources for men who don't know where to get help, where to find help if they're struggling mentally or physically, or they just need someone to talk to. So that's what this episode is going to be. It'll be a little bit shorter, but it's just going to be a resource episode for you guys. We really want to just fill your guys' tool belt with all the resources you need if you are struggling. Right, D?
That is right. If we can equip you with the tools to get through any season that you're going through without sounding too Christianese, I feel like season is used quite a bit. But yeah, we just want to equip you. We want you to make sure you guys have the tools, or at least some tools. You may not even find these useful, but if we can point you in the right direction so that you can get the help that you need, that's what we're all about. We're all about community, and that's probably what's going to bring us to our first point. And we have been talking about it, and it is on Facebook. But Rooted in Brotherhood is our Facebook group. We have a couple people that have joined. Please do. That is probably the best spot to go to find community. And from there, once you get acclimated to a community environment, our hope is that you find something physical, like you find maybe a church, or you find a group that's in your surrounding area that you can go to, because virtual is great, but in person is even better. And so we want to create the virtual, and we have talked about doing conferences and doing stuff like that, like retreats, and we still plan on doing all of that. So in person will come. Just right now it is all virtual. So get acclimated to community, then go find a community, and hopefully, we expand and we can start creating little communities in different parts of the United States and maybe different parts of the world. But yes, we want to give you that tool in your arsenal, because community has helped us out a ton. If you do this alone, you will not win. That is just how it is. It doesn't mean that you're not strong enough. It just means that there are going to be times where you're not going to see the light, but somebody else will, and they can pull you towards it.
The cool thing is, we're going to shout out a couple other men's groups, but ours is free. We'll just put that out there. The other ones may not be free. People do this for a living, but at the moment, ours is free. So if you want to join ours, it is Rooted in Brotherhood in Facebook groups. Go check it out. And if you want to check it out, the link is in the show notes below. Also, you guys know Larry Hagner. He was on. He's the Dad Edge. He has the Dad Edge Alliance. He's an amazing guy. Speaks life into people, and he's a very, very good person to reach out for that. Another one I've been following for a long time is Chris Rodak. He does the Rising Father program. I think it's called the Men of Fire. Yeah, Men of Fire program. So those are 3 really good ones. If you get put in those, I know the other 2 do cost money, but they're amazing programs. Larry Hagner is awesome. Chris Rodak is awesome. I personally have met both of them. Amazing men, amazing fathers. So just if you want to get plugged into there, awesome. If you don't want to hear us talk about anymore, I know if you're listening to our podcast, you should want to hear us more, but whatever. But join Rooted. We're very adamant about people joining Rooted because we just want to build it. We want to pour into you. We want to help build you, be there for when you fall and help you up. So just find a community of dads, find a community of men who, like we talk about, a lot of us are going through the same stuff. We don't want to admit it. And what's funny is, like, people think it's weak for us to admit when we're down and we're not feeling good and we're going through the thick of life. But it's not weak for wanting help. It's actually wise of you for seeking it, and so just think about that. Like, you're doing it for your family. If you don't, like, oh, well, I don't want to do anything for myself, like, do it for your kids, do it for your wife. Reach out, find a program. Yeah, that's the spiel on programs. I mean, there's other things, there's apps that we could talk about. I mean, I used something that helped me majorly was BetterHelp, and that's more of a counseling thing, but, like, BetterHelp is there. You don't have to see someone. If you don't wanna see someone face to face, you can text them, call them. And I think they're meeting in person. I did text because I was like, "Well, I don't wanna see someone. I don't want to talk space to space. It's easier just to send words." So that's what I did. I did text, and it helped. Yeah. There's this other place too, if you're struggling with ADHD, it's called Unscripted Brain. You should check that channel out too.
Yeah, I haven't done too much on that. I should get back on that. But there's what Alec is talking about. There, you know, maybe you don't have, like you're like my finances are kind of strapped at the moment. There are actually a lot of places that have student, and I know when you hear that students are the ones that'll be your therapist, it's a little scary, a little unsure of what's, they're still learning. But I will say they are monitored by a professional, somebody who's seasoned, been in the psychology or whatever industry for quite some time. Usually, some people 15, 20 plus years, and they monitor everything. These students will bring stuff back to them, and most of them are on a sliding scale. So they go based off of what your income is. So there have been times where I could not afford therapy. And so what I had to do is go to one of these for Vegas. It was at UNLV, and they have, students, it's about 6 months. You probably have them and then they swap them out. And so you have another therapist. So maybe it's a short fix if you're looking to have somebody more concrete and consistent. But if you're strapped for cash, there are options. And I don't think BetterHelp costed that much, right? When you were using it.
No, and the nice thing about BetterHelp too is it goes through your insurance, so I didn't actually have to pay out of pocket. So it was nice.
Perfect. Perfect. So if your insurance covers it, great. If your insurance doesn't cover it, do like I'm saying, sliding scale. And, it didn't cost me, but maybe 20, $30 a session, if that. Like they really did help me out. And I was able to get the help that I needed and get the ADHD diagnosis that I needed, a preliminary diagnosis. But it was enough to start my journey on medication and stuff like that. So, yeah, yeah, that is some of the resources that are out there. And just going back to what Alec was saying about strength, we think doing it alone or whatever, it actually takes real strength to admit that you need help because it's not easy. It's not easy to let people in. It's not easy to be vulnerable. It's not, because being transparent is scary because you don't know what somebody's going to do with that information. But I'm telling you, every time that I have opened up, it has always been for the better. I don't think there's ever been a time where it went against me when I sought out help, professionally, or if you have a friend. Like Alec and I, we basically are accountability partners for mental health.
Mhm.
So if one of us notices the other one is struggling or maybe not having a great day, or we kind of ask them, like, hey, Alec, like, I know you're saying you're good, but are you really good? And it's really like, so having somebody like that, if you don't have anybody right now, that's why our community is great. You can start to get somebody where they'll hold you accountable to being actually truthful to your emotions instead of, because guys, let's face it, just society has taught us this. When somebody asks you, and if somebody asks you, hey, how you doing today? What's your first response? Probably, I'm good. How about you? They'll say, I'm good, but do you really even care if they're good? Probably not. They don't even care if you're good. That's
Well,
why
I
I'm
think
telling you, get somebody.
that's the thing nowadays. That's the average answer. Sorry to cut you off, but yeah, that's just
No, no, you're good.
what's been built into our brain. You know,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No,
unfortunately.
it's just a response. And we get so acclimated to saying that response that we don't truly check in with ourselves to see if we're actually good. And I have stopped myself a couple times when I'm about to say I'm good, and then I say I'm okay, but then I really don't want them to pry on why I'm just okay. So that's kind of like why I hesitate sometimes. But have somebody that knows you, knows like, well, you're saying you're good, but your tone and everything else is off. Something doesn't seem right. And when somebody can actually ask you truthfully, how are you doing? I actually had a pastor do this. This is like probably the first time I had an adult in my life actually ask me like how I was doing, like stopping me and actually like I had a youth pastor that I was serving under as like a junior youth leader. I was a youth myself, so just trying to lead my peers. But yeah, he stopped me. His name is Tim Robertson.
Good, Tim Robertson.
He stopped me and he was like, "Hey, how you doing?" And I said, "Oh, I'm good." No, 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 no. How are you actually doing? And instantly, and I could still feel the emotions today. I broke down, and I guess I'm not okay. I don't know why am I feeling all these emotions right now? Because he could see through all of the crap, and he can see right to actually how I was doing. So when you have somebody that can speak into your life like that, life changing, really. But I'll get off that soapbox, whatever you will. But yeah, find
Awesome.
yourself somebody. You know, money is, I know, can be tight, especially nowadays. Inflation and everything is up around the country,
Hmm.
and so it's not super easy to want to seek out help, especially if it costs money. So there are resources out there.
Well, that's something you talked about too. With inflation being up and stuff like that. That's something that can affect a lot of people right now, and that can put you in a bad slump too mentally because everything's going up. Gas is going up, groceries are going up, and we're all just struggling trying to figure out how we're going to make it through the day and make it through that. So that's another big thing nowadays that people are struggling with is funds and all that stuff. And counseling sometimes it's not cheap, but like DJ said, he found a cheap one. And so that's why this episode, we just want to make sure you guys have the resources to figure it out because even if it costs a little bit more than you have, like at the end of the day, it's going to be worth it to almost invest into yourself in a way, but just help get yourself better. There's some podcasts as well. I mean, there's obviously our podcast. This whole month is dedicated to mental health. We do touch on it outside of this month, but we are not a full-fledged mental health podcast. One that we have had on, we've had the dad bods on here. Amazing dudes. They are full-fledged mental health podcast. Amazing guys to talk to. They work with Nerd HQ. Nerd HQ is all about mental health. Amazing company. Amazing resources there if you guys want to check them out. And then I wrote down a couple other ones. There's the Get Real podcast, and there's the Suicide Noted. The Suicide Noted actually stuck out. It's really cool. Is they bring people on that are suicide survivors, and they hear their stories. And in the description, it talks about how you think because the title says Suicide Noted, that'd be a depressing podcast. But it's actually a very joyful, lighthearted podcast. And they're celebrating these people still being alive. So those are some other resources, some other podcasts out there for you guys to look out for. Like we said, we're here and you guys can comment on, listen, we're on everything. You guys can put comments anywhere. I'm going to see it. We'll get back to you. We would love to talk to you guys. As well as if you guys need more help, if you guys need reach out to us. If we need to help get you plugged into one of these places, we would love to do that too. I mean, there's even simpler things, free things. I think I talked about a couple of these. There's apps. Apps just go on your phone, y'all. Just download them. I have the mental health. It's just called mental. It's got an M on it. I have that on my phone right now. There's Youper, Mood Notes, Headspace. There's just things you can put and implement in your daily routine to help you get through things. Like I said, if you don't want to talk to people, because that's sometimes the hardest thing to do. But if you're a dad, which hopefully you are listening to this podcast, it's worth it for your kids and wife. I can't say that enough. We talked to, he won't be on until you're hearing this episode before, but we won't be on until next month. We talked to Brian Belger yesterday, and just fixing ourselves for our kids and fixing those generational curses. We kind of went into that a little bit. That's what being a dad is about. Sitting around just giving up on life is not what it's about. Being a dad is one of the highest callings you can reward. And DJ kind of talked on it in that episode is, we think that our kids owe us everything, but they don't. Like, it wasn't their choice to come to this world. We chose to have the kids. So we owe them everything. We may feel like we have to honor our parents, which is fine, or our kids need to honor us, which by you living your best life and you being mentally, physically, spiritually healthy is going to show your kids how to honor you. And when people go out and they're like, oh, you're just like your dad. Like, that's the best compliment you can get. So why wouldn't you want to show that to your kids,
Yeah, it's really good that you touched on that. How do you expect your kids to honor you if you don't honor yourself?
Mm-hmm.
How do you expect them to value you when you don't value yourself? How do you expect them to love you when you don't love yourself? Guys, it starts with taking care of you. I know this example goes around quite a bit, but you're on an airplane, right? What's the thing when they say the masks come down? You put your mask on first. Why? Because if you don't take care of yourself, how are you going to take care of those around you? It's so true in life that we cannot express it enough. We've had dad after dad after dad after dad, mom, then dad and dad and dad and dad on, and they say the same thing. Actually, that thing that Alec was talking about, it came from Danny, and I don't know where Danny got it from, if she just came up with it on her own, but like, that's what she literally said on her episode is we, like, our kids don't owe us anything. We owe everything to them. They didn't choose to be here. We
Mm-hmm.
chose to have them. So that means, yeah, it's not going to be easy, but we got to choose them every day. But the way that we do that and the way that we stay here choosing them is by taking care of us so that we live long enough to keep on choosing them. Because otherwise, you'll become a distant memory that hurts when they think about you versus, man, the life that I had with my dad. Like, it becomes more, yeah, we want you guys to stay long enough so you keep on choosing them. And, God willing, you live a long life and, sickness or something that doesn't take you out. But yeah, yeah.
Cool. Well, like we said, we're going to keep this episode short, guys. And we just wanted to make something and put something out so you guys have all the resources you need to get healthy, get healed. We love you guys. That's why we're doing this. Actually, we're recording this on the 14th of June, which means in a week, me and DJ will be together, and it's our 2-year anniversary. And how are we celebrating? We're going to Sesame Place with our kids. Water park. But that's what it's all about, y'all. Get out there, hang out with your kids, have fun, and anything you're going to do in life, put it all into it. Because like me and DJ, we could have given up a long time ago on this freaking podcast. But we're here because we care about you guys. And it started because of us, because we needed a place to talk. And now it's become a resource for men to get stronger. And we just want to add value to your lives. And we just want to build you guys up when you fall. So we love you guys.
Yeah. Love you guys. We'll see you on the next episode.
Yep. Okay, guys.